This Avalanche Safety Report is brought to you by Mountain TV. Watch Mountain TV anywhere with our free Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV apps. Learn more at mtn-tv.com.
Once again, we have an update from Brian from CAIC, the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, and you got a couple updates for us. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, so we are kind of coming out of our first substantial, real pronounced spring warm-up of the season, and that led to an uptick in wet avalanche activity and in avalanche danger. And as you can see here, as we move kind of into Thursday, we're looking at considerable or pretty dangerous avalanche conditions because of this warm-up across all of the Colorado mountains. Now, this is going to change as we move into the weekend, and so what this animation is showing is projected snowfall from the WRF model. And you can see that we get snowfall and colder temperatures that moves in late on Thursday and lasts through Friday. So we're looking at not a ton of snow, anywhere from kind of 5 to maybe upwards of 10 inches in the heaviest areas, but this is going to be a return of winter. And then you can see here, this purple air, which is associated with the storm system, gets to us late on Thursday, lasts through Friday, into Saturday, and then it starts to lift out again, and those greener or warmer temperatures return by the end of the weekend, late on Sunday and into Monday and the early part of next week. So we will have a return of what avalanche concerns as we move into the very end of the weekend and the early part of next week. And we're going to be warning about 3 kinds of avalanches. And I want to show you some examples from last week because we're going to see more of this likely next week when the warm temperatures return. So we have wet avalanches come in 2 flavors. These are loose wet avalanches, or just cohesionless snow. And we're going to see more of these, particularly with that dust resurfacing, because that enhances the rate of melt and introduces more melt water into the snowpack at a more rapid rate. And some of these loose wet avalanches can be quite big and destructive. The other kind are wet slab avalanches, like the ones that you can see in these images. And these are going to be even bigger and more destructive because they just entrain more volume of snow. And some of these are, were breaking quite big last week. We may have seen the peak of this stuff, but I would anticipate more of this avalanche activity early next week as well. The last thing we want to worry about are all these really big overhanging cornices. They become easier to break, and it's easier for them to fail when the warm temperatures return. And these things can be really destructive, as this image illustrates here. So the key, when the warm temperatures return, we're going to have a switch to winter for Friday and into Saturday. We're going to have to worry about new snow and drifting snow. When the warm temperatures return next week, it's really the key to staying safe is to travel early and exit avalanche terrain early before these wet avalanches and cornice falls become more likely in the warm afternoon.
Those cornices are massive, Brian. I don't think I've ever seen them formed like that, and we're so excited for spring skiing and snowboarding and, those bluebird days. But man, those are still some gnarly
yeah, these are some of the bigger cornices we've seen in a number of years, and that's just because we've had so much snowfall this winter. So we're talking about cornices like anywhere from the size of school buses to, in some cases, the size of small houses. So these are really destructive. You don't want to be on slopes underneath these things. And
Brian, can you share with us where we can get more info in case you want to check out anything else avalanche safety related?
Yeah, there are going to be some differences depending, how much snow we get in certain parts of the state. So it's going to be important, as always, to check your local avalanche forecast. And you can do that at colorado.gov/avalanche or on the CAIC mobile app.
Thank you for keeping us in the know.
Thank you.
You can always stay up to date with the latest forecast at colorado.gov/avalanche. Enjoy the backcountry and be sure to stay alert and safe out there.